Ashley. Workout number 3. Legs. It'll be a leg day, a butt day, a hamstring day. Some things will include the band, some things won't. We're going to first come into our warm-up, 30 seconds on, 5 seconds off, 2 rounds. You'll start with your squats, sending the hips back, pushing from your heels, squeezing your glutes. Then you're going to go into your bridges, which we did last workout. So on your back, lifting your hips and engaging your hamstrings and your glutes as well. Then you'll come into your inchworm, which we also did, but in case you forget, it's coming straight down, walking out, getting into plank, wrists underneath your shoulders, and then walking it back up, slowly coming up with your head being the last thing to come up. Then you're going to come in to some Russian twists. You'll have some lateral hops next, which we did, breathing the entire time. Then we're going to engage your core with some Russian twists. So you can keep your feet on the ground. You want to come back to the point where you feel that tension in your core and you're twisting. So make sure your hands touch. I don't just want your hands moving. You are twisting at the core. The whole point is to get into your obliques and really wake up your trunk. Then we are going to get into in and out squat jumps. So you're just going to come here, drop straight down, and come up. So you can make them extremely explosive, or as you're getting used to it, just make them small jumps. Get comfortable with the motion first. Still send your hips back. Still push from your heels. Try not to let your knees travel in front of your toes. That's your warm-up. Circuit number 1, you'll have 2 rounds, 40 seconds on, 10 seconds off. And you're going to start with those non-squat jumps. So just explode, standing on your tippy toes, coming up as fast as you can. Trying to hold, it's hard for me sometimes on my tippy toes to hold that because of my left leg. So do your best. You may even do it more graceful than I did. Then you're going to come into a bridge hold. So you're going to come into your bridge, but you're just going to hold that tension for the entire 40 seconds. So really squeeze and engage, make sure you're active the whole time. Next, you're going to come into a wall sit. So you'll find a wall. If you have a gallon of milk or if you have anything that you could add some weight, you're more than welcome to. If not, you could determine your depth, but you want to try to find that tension in your quad. Back's flat against the wall, and this is it. You're burning it out by holding that tension the entire time, rather than when we come out of it, you're giving it a little bit of an interval rest. So burn out with that wall sit. And then finally, bird dogs. So you're going to come into tabletop, hands underneath the shoulders or wrists underneath the shoulders, back flat so your back isn't arched. You're going to extend one leg straight out with your foot flexed. And then you're going to bring the opposite arm and hold for 1 to 2 seconds and then drop it down. And you're going to stay to one side the entire time. So let me show you a side view of that as well. Hips are square, one's not higher than the other, core is tight, and you're gonna really work on your stabilization with that one. That's a really great exercise for that. So next we're gonna get into your second circuit. So the first is gonna be a squat with a band. So feet on the band, you can still bring them about hip width apart. Make sure your toes are straight, and you're gonna bring your band up to your shoulders. Squat down, hips back, and you're gonna come squeezing as you come up. So pretty standard, we're just adding a little bit of resistance with that band. Next, you're gonna come into donkey kicks. Well, not donkey kicks, but leg extensions with the band. So I'm gonna show you this from a side view. So make sure the band is secure around like the base of your foot. You can hold the handles, come into tabletop, and you're just gonna extend out. So using that band for a bit of resistance. making the move a little bit more dynamic, a little bit harder. Just like that. Next, you'll come into a leg raise, a balanced leg raise, and lateral leg raise with the band. So slight bend of the knee, squeeze the glute of the standing leg. You're gonna bring the leg up and out and back and down. So the band will actually assist you in keeping that leg up a little bit. Keep the core tight. And if you need a wall, by all means, I would have to use a wall if I was doing it on my left leg. So you could just have your arm or something against the wall so that you feel that support if you want to focus on the move itself. Next, you're going to come into a side shuffle with a transverse jump. So we're going to be jumping in a different plane. So you're going to get low, side shuffle, and then jump and back. Side shuffle, jump, back. Try to stay low the whole time. Then you're going to come into a laying leg raise with a lateral raise. So again, getting into your hips and your core. So raise, out. If you would like an added challenge, you could try to bring your hips up of the standing leg. So remember, wherever you are is perfect. And finally, you're gonna come into some X walks, which are way harder than they look. So you're gonna put both feet on the floor and you're gonna cross your band, You're gonna cross your band and bring the shoulders up a bit so that you create some tension. And then you're just taking small lateral steps. Okay, so you could do like 10 on each side, moving back and forth for the 40-second duration. And trust me, you'll start feeling it way more than it looks. And that will honestly be your workout, and then we'll just get into our cool down. So again, I love it. You're just gonna come into that hip flexor stretch, bringing the hips under, really lengthening the psoas. And after that, before you switch sides, you're just gonna drop your foot straight and drop your chest down so you come into a nice hamstring stretch. It should feel really delicious. Okay, next thing that you're gonna do is you're going to just use a wall for support, pushing your leg against your arm and just holding it, trying to get into those hips and trying to stretch that out a little bit as well. And then if you want a little bit of a calf stretch, just find a surface, lifting the foot and lean into it, and you could get into those calves. And again, it should feel really nice. And that is exercise number 3, or workout number 3. I hope you enjoy it, keep kicking ass, and I'll see you next time.